Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's Monday Night Football slate. A little doubleheader we got for Monday night to close out Week 2. We have the Panthers and the Saints playing, and then we have the Browns and the Steelers playing. Now, for the sake of this video, we're just going to give out two plays, and both the plays I like for tonight are coming from the Browns and Steelers game. I wanted to give out a play from each game, but I was looking at that Panthers-Saints game, and man, there's just not many props that really stand out to me that I like in that game. So I'm just going to fade that one for now. You will see, if more props get added to the board on Monday. We don't have like fantasy score props up yet, and those are props I like to look at. So we'll see what those look like when they get added. Maybe I'll find some plays I like. As always, I do give out more Prizepicks plays over on Patreon. You guys can check that out, linked down below in the description. But we're going to talk about two plays I like from the Steelers and Browns game. So before we talk through these two plays, as always, guys, if you guys enjoy these Prizepicks videos and if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, be sure to check them out, sign up, use my promo code NOAH. If you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. Also, if you guys have never heard of Sleeper, we are now partnered up with Sleeper, and you guys can actually sign up for Sleeper, use my promo code over there as well, promo code NOAH, and that will get you your first deposit matched up to $100 as well. We've been having a lot of success on Sleeper. Been giving out entries over there on Patreon. We took the Tyreek Hill free square that was available on Sleeper, turned that into like a 5.5x payout, did a 3-pick entry, cashed that, and we also had a great day on Prizepicks as well. Full swept the board on Prizepicks. If you guys watched my video that I posted for the Sunday slate of games, I gave out 4 picks in that video. We hit all 4 of those plays, and I gave out another play that I liked over on my Patreon. We hit that play as well. I think we actually gave out 2 more plays on Patreon, so we hit those 2 as well. So it was a great day, man. Just kind of all around. Great week 2. Had a lot of success in week 2 after starting off the season somewhat poorly. A lot of success in week 2. Hopefully we can carry that into this Monday night game. But yeah, guys, if you're not on Sleeper, get signed up over there. Use that promo code NOAH and get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's talk through this Prizepick slate, what I'm liking for tonight. 2 props I like. We're going to start off in the pass completions prop, and then we got a receiving yard prop I like. So for pass completions, we're going to be looking at Kenny Pickett here, 18.5 pass completions. And I do like the over here for Kenny Pickett. So in week 1, we did see Kenny Pickett have 31 pass completions. Now, that line is obviously super high because, if you look at the game script, the Steelers were pretty much trailing for that entire game. They lost that game 7-30 against the 49ers. Kenny Pickett threw the ball 46 times last week. I would not expect Kenny Pickett to throw the ball 46 times again here. I think that was just because of the game script. But I do think the Steelers offense is not that good. I think the Steelers are going to be playing from behind a lot of weeks. And even, at home here, the Steelers are 2-point dogs in this game. Now, this is projected as kind of like a neutral game script. But if we take a look at, Kenny Pickett's pass attempts, we take a look at how many pass attempts he's projected for. Right now, Prizepicks has his line at 30.5. A lot of the other sports books, pretty much all the other sports books, have his line at 30.5 pass attempts. But if we actually take a look at his pass completions line, go to DK Sportsbook, that line actually sits at 19.5. Now, it is favoring the under. Juice is favoring the under on his pass completions line. It's at, it moved to 18.5 now, but it's minus 150 to go over 18.5. So it was at 19.5, juiced towards the under. Now the line went down to 18.5 on DraftKings, but it's juiced heavily towards the over, minus 150. So this prop is minus 150 on DK Sportsbook. And Pickett, even though this is not the best offense for Pittsburgh, I do expect Pittsburgh to air it out for the most part. I do expect Pickett to throw the ball like 30, 35 times a week. And if we look at his games this season where he's had at least 25, 30 pass attempts, just because, let's take a look at kind of like a rough guess for if he does wind up throwing the ball 25 to 30 times like he's projected to, well, how many completions does he normally get? And last season, there were 11 games where Kenny Pickett had at least 25 pass attempts. In those games, he had at least 19 completions in 7 out of 11 games. There was one game where he had 30 pass attempts and only got 18 completions, so he lost by the hook. There was one game he had 28 pass attempts, 16 completions. There was one game he had 27 pass attempts, 15 completions, and then 29 pass attempts, 13 completions. But typically, if we get close to 30 pass attempts from Kenny Pickett, more times than not, I think he's going to get 19 completions. Pickett does kind of like to throw the ball deep, but he will kind of check down as well. And when you check down, when you take those short passes, those are obviously passes that are much easier to be completed. And I think Pickett, in this scenario, if he does wind up throwing the ball 30, 31 times like he's projected to, I would bank on him getting 19 completions here. I know this game is not like the most exciting game. This game's probably going to be low scoring. It's going to be sloppy. It's probably going to be ugly. But I don't think the Steelers are that good. I think they're going to be playing from behind a lot of weeks, and I would not be surprised if this is once again another game script where you do see Pittsburgh playing from behind. You see Pickett forced to air it out a little bit more. And if that's the case, I like his chances of getting 19 completions. And especially with DraftKings Sportsbook having this prop juiced to minus 150, we're getting some really good odds on this play as well. So that's the first play I like for tonight. And then on the other side of the game, we're going to be looking at receiving yards. And we're going to take a look at Nick Chubb, 12.5 receiving yards. And I also like the over here for Nick Chubb. So if you look at week 1, Nick Chubb did have 21 receiving yards. He got 4 targets in that game, 4 receptions. That was a good thing to see for Nick Chubb. I was kind of heading into the season, I was expecting a bigger role in the passing game for Nick Chubb, now that Kareem Hunt is no longer on the team. And they really used Chubb heavily in the passing game. 4 targets, again, had 4 receptions for 21 yards. He didn't play a ton of snaps in week 1, but I think that was just because the Browns were winning that game very handily against the Bengals. They won 24-3, and I think heading into the fourth quarter, they kind of eased the workload off of Chubb a little bit, and they started giving a lot of touches to Jerome Ford. I'm pretty sure in week 1, Chubb only played 51% of the snaps. But again, I think that was just because of the game and how the game was being played. If that was a competitive game, like if it was a tie game heading into the fourth quarter, I would expect Chubb to be on the field a lot more than he was. I think they kind of eased the workload off him a bit just because they were winning by 3 touchdowns heading into the fourth quarter or close to that. So more times than not, I think we're going to see Chubb have a pretty big workload with this Browns team. We know he's a guy that can handle a workhorse type role, and I do expect him to have a bigger role in the passing game this season without Kareem Hunt. I don't think Chubb really has much competition behind him. I mean, Jerome Ford, he's not a bad rookie or anything, but he didn't really look that great in week 1. He had a fumble in that game. I'm pretty sure he was really inefficient on the ground. He had 15 carries, but he only rushed for 36 yards, so he barely averaged over 2 yards per carry. Just didn't look that great. I mean, Chubb is clearly the running back that needs to be getting all the touches in this backfield. He's very explosive. He's a guy that in space, can just make stuff happen. He's kind of similar to Derrick Henry. I know Derrick Henry doesn't get a ton of opportunity in the passing game, but he should because he's so hard to tackle. He's a guy that just get him out in space and he can make things happen. I feel like that's the same with Nick Chubb. Just throw Nick Chubb a couple screen passes a game and he'll get plenty of yards out of it. And I don't know if we're going to get 4 targets every game like we did last week, but given he got 4 targets, that's a really good thing to see. And if we project Chubb to see 3 to 4 targets with his explosive ability, with how he can make stuff happen, I mean, he could literally go over this receiving yard prop in 1 catch. He could have a 13-yard catch without a doubt. If he gets a screen pass with good blocking, he's got a good chance of getting 13, 15, 20-plus yards. And if we actually take a look at DK Sportsbook right now, they do have this line set at 13.5. So it's a yard higher on DK Sportsbook. Nothing crazy, but it is set at 13.5. And then if we look at his reception prop is set at 2.5. It is juiced towards the under, pretty heavily juiced towards the under, minus 280. But if Chubb's gonna, if he projects to get 2 catches here, I like his chances of getting 13 yards if he gets 2 catches. If we take a look at his games last season where he got at least 2 catches, he was able to get at least 13 yards in, I believe, 6 out of those 7 games. So, yeah, there were 7 games last season where Chubb got at least 2 catches. And in those 7 games, he got at least 13 yards in 6 out of 7. He had 3 catches against Buffalo, 48 yards. 5 catches against Pittsburgh, 45 yards. 3 catches against the Jets, 26 yards. 3 catches against the Bengals, 20 yards. 3 catches against Miami, 18 yards. 2 catches against Baltimore, 16 yards. And then he had 2 catches against Atlanta for only 9 yards. But again, more times than not, I think Chubb's got a good chance of getting 13 yards if he gets 2 catches. And that's basically what the sportsbooks are projecting for is 2 receptions. Maybe if Prizepicks adds a reception prop up for Chubb at 2, you could take the over on that. I like the receiving yards more just because I think Chubb is so explosive that he could literally get this in 1 catch. But just with how he was used in the passing game in week 1, I think we're going to continue to see that type of involvement in the passing game moving forward. Just without Kareem Hunt, I think Nick Chubb has kind of like a true bell cow role. He's going to get usage in the passing game, and he's going to get his normal 15 to 20 carries that he typically gets. Matchup against Pittsburgh is probably not the best, honestly, but sometimes matchup doesn't really matter. We're looking for volume, and I think Chubb gets enough volume in the passing game here to get us 13 receiving yards. So this is what I like for this Week 2 Monday night game, guys. Again, these are not the most exciting games. I would say probably to bet light on this slate. I mean, Panthers, Saints, Browns, Steelers, like both these games have like totals below 40. These are going to be some low scoring, slow, just like not exciting games. But I still wanted to give you guys some plays I liked. These are the two plays I like most, kind of taking a look at the board right now. If any more plays pop up, if Prizepicks adds like fantasy score props and I see some of those I like, I'll share those on Patreon as always. But typically for these showdown games or for these like 1-2 game slates, I usually only play like one entry. I play like a 2-pick entry. This is probably what I'll just be rolling with. But again, if I find any more plays, I'll share those on Patreon. Link down below in the description. But yeah, guys, it was a great week 2, man. Had a perfect day. Hit all 6 of our Prizepicks plays that we gave out on Patreon and on YouTube. And our 3-pick entry that we posted over on Sleeper, we cashed that as well. So week 2 was great. Obviously, would love to close it out with another win on Monday night. But I would definitely say play light on this entry, guys. I don't, love a ton of props in these games. These are not games I'm super confident in. I don't really like targeting these 2 games because I think they're going to be just lower scoring, sloppy, and there's not a ton of lines that really look super appealing. But if you guys are going to be tailing me on these 2 picks, hopefully we can cash out. Wish you the best of luck. If you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, though, before you get out of here, hit that like button. I always appreciate the likes, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Also, if you haven't checked out Prizepicks before, again, sign up for Prizepicks. Use that promo code NOAH. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. Be sure to check them out if you guys have not yet. But that's all that I got for this slate. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Hopefully these Monday night games, hopefully they wind up being somewhat good. At least make them competitive. If they're gonna be slow and low scoring, at least let it be a competitive game, I guess. But yeah, guys, we'll see you guys in the next video. Best of luck tonight. Appreciate you watching as always. Peace.